When moving to a foreign country, I guess you could say that the only thing to expect is the unexpected. I wish there was a way I could have been better prepared, but there's no going back now. So the best I can do is to share, in hopes that others might find value hearing my experiences. So today, I'm going to tell you a bit about my daily life, culture, and food experiences here in rural Ehime Prefecture, Japan. I live deep in rural Japan. Ehime Prefecture spans the westernmost coast of Shikoku Island, Japan's least traveled main island. With mountains and coast on both the ocean and the inland sea, Ehime is home to Dogo Onsen, which is rumored to have inspired the bathhouse in the classic Miyazaki movie Spirited Away. Regional agriculture specializes in mandarin oranges, called mikan, kiwi, and seafood. It is also common to find wild boar, called inoshishi, and locally grown vegetables. I landed in this area by chance, and wow, what a whirlwind it has been. I'm still trying to find a balance in daily life routines, circulating between property maintenance, supporting my partner, and working on my own projects. Being present in any community in this rural region seems to come with its own set of rules and obligations, which has been difficult for me to keep up with. I'm hoping that with time, I can better anticipate and manage expectations. There is definitely more maintenance than I am used to for both home and social environment. I've received questions from viewers like, how close are you to a grocery store? Are there kids' school programs close by? Are there stores, etc.? The answer is definitely no, but that's besides the point. This is a highly inconvenient lifestyle. I spend a lot of time doing chores around here. We cut the weeds, except here the weeds fight back. There is more work to do to deal with mold, rain, and insects. We also have adopted some less convenient slow habits, such as drying laundry in the sun, growing as much of our own food as we can, and occasionally cooking over a wood fire. All of those things take a lot of time. Some of the things I used to aspire to or care about, there simply isn't enough time for anymore. I have a lot of respect for Japanese countryside moms and primary child caretakers. It takes so much time to just live. I don't know how they can take care of one or more human beings on top of that. While the nature can seem to interrupt life at times, there's also something lovely about living in sync with nature. I've never lived anywhere that seemed so in tune with the seasons. It seems like every month there is an event or food that we can enjoy only at that time. It makes the simplicity of nature extra precious. And the nature gives us everything we need to live. It takes a lot of effort and unlearning of industrialized methods to figure out how to do it, but it's all here. We have resources: water, vegetables, protein, building materials, entertainment. It's all here. It feels like it's just waiting to be found and embraced. When reading about Japanese rock wall construction methods, the author reflected that the traditional construction method outperformed modern techniques. He said, once again, the ancestors already had it right. While I'm not Japanese, I appreciate this kind of humble submission to wisdom beyond innovation. That traditional wisdom that evolved alongside nature is there, if we are willing to receive it. I've heard other foreigners in Japan say that they are pretty much left alone. My life is not like that at all. Even though I can't speak Japanese well, I feel like I'm constantly being asked to do favors. and not the kinds of favors I'm used to, like helping a friend move. I've been asked to paint multiple murals, open an English cafe, model for a tourism commercial, model for the town calendar, host an English tea ceremony in full Renaissance costume, yes, that's not a joke, perform singing, give private English tutoring to kids and older people, speak at regional educational events, volunteer to clean the local guest house, clean the local vacant school, cut weeds in the mountain path once a week, open a cupcake booth at the seasonal festival, attend cultural workshops, and convince other local foreigners to do those things too. And just to clarify, these are requests for me to volunteer, not for jobs. I don't totally know why it seems like I'm so bombarded with favor requests. I have a theory that in this rural culture with age-based hierarchy and a population that steeply tilts older, there simply aren't so many young people around to spread out the involvement requests. So myself and the few other people under 40 get a disproportionate amount of attention. That's just a theory. I'm honestly a bit confused as to why I've had this experience that seems so different from what I've heard from others. So if there are others out there like me, or if you have any idea why this is happening, please comment and let me know. The challenge of receiving all of those favor requests isn't an inability for me to turn them down. Don't get me wrong, I can say no. But I've been told that I should agree to everything, otherwise I will be rejected by the locals. But it is literally impossible to do everything everybody wants me to do if I have some semblance of my own work at the same time. Even if I can use a translation app to say no, there's a major cultural difference regarding the right to autonomy. AKA, it seems like I'm expected to not have the right to self-control here. Coming from American culture, this is directly in contrast with the extreme feelings about right to independence, uniqueness of individual character, and right to self-autonomy. It is the exact opposite. While it has caused immense frustration to try to manage others' expectations of me, I am on the path to acceptance because this culture where I feel pressure is also a culture where I feel relief for many other reasons. There are many positives to the social culture here that I appreciate. In Japan, there's a high sense of reliability and trustworthy character. Not only is it safe, but people generally are committed to hospitality, high degrees of service, generosity, sharing, and creating friendly atmospheres. The same people who want me to be involved are people who love me and who are excited to have me around. The people who ask favors of me have a vision of an active, lively, and engaged community, and they see me in their vision. I think that's really special, and while the obligations feel like a punishment at times, I'm committed to trying to figure out how to make it work, or at least giving it a really good effort. Before I moved to Japan, I loved eating Japanese food whenever I could. Japanese food was my treat, my me time. If I was going out to dinner or wanted to make something special at home, it was often Japanese food. Ramen, sushi, mochi ice cream, sake, even making okonomiyaki at home for my family and friends. So I figured it would be a peaceful culinary transition, but my body fought back. I consider myself a pretty open-minded eater, willing to try almost anything once. But as it turns out, I have encountered quite a few foods here that I simply cannot stomach. This includes crab brains, sea urchin, and chicken sashimi. And beyond those once-in-a-while challenge foods, the simple fact is that most dishes heavily focus on the same kinds of flavor profiles: umami, seaweed, dashi fish flavor, and soy sauce. It seems like every food is the same flavors in slightly different balances. I have a lot of respect for rice culture, where rice powers humans, and all parts of the plant are used. But my ancestors ate potatoes and bread, and it has been surprisingly difficult on my digestive system to acclimate to the Japanese way of eating rice 3 times a day, causing uncomfortable bloating and weight gain. That being said, I have been able to try and enjoy new foods that I never knew existed before. And while foods are limited to seasonal availability, that has nurtured more resourceful and intentional eating habits. I enjoy knowing that a lot of my food is grown or processed within a certain radius of my home. And after the initial hump of learning how to feed myself in a country where I can't read, I now look forward to trying dishes with ingredients I've never tried before. Sometimes we enjoy the gift of foraged foods like bamboo shoots, wild horsetails, tea leaves that grow wild in the forest, truffles, or wild garlic scapes. With every new food, I really stop and think about the unique and new nutrition as a gift to my body, and I find a huge amount of satisfaction knowing that the local foods I eat embody the sunlight, the mountain water, and the ecosystems of my local surroundings. They say that local honey has the potential to reduce seasonal allergies. I wonder what other kinds of hidden synergies exist from eating food grown from the soils right around us. I hope you found this interesting. Please let me know if you have any topics you would like addressed in future videos. If you're interested, please follow me on Instagram. That's all for now. See you next time.